All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 10 Cents Podcast. This is your host, Brian, this week. Really light show as we're coming to you actually on Independence Day, July 4th. So happy Independence Day to this wonderful nation that we live in. Challenging nation, I guess you could say. Lots of issues going on in the world right now, and here in the United States for sure. We have quite a few things that have happened over the last few weeks, especially since the last time we actually held an episode. But we're going to start things off with some NBA talk. Obviously, lots of NBA happenings over the last, especially over the last 5 days or so since started.
This past week's been
So obviously.
Crazy.
The season ended with the Warriors winning the championship again. They're fourth in the last
8 years,
8 years or so,
7 or 8 years,
whatever it's been. So congratulations to the Warriors. 5 days or so since. So Eddie P is going to go ahead and handle our YouTube. Everybody chimes in. We've got a few guys that are out, obviously, when there's only two of us on here. So we're just handling it. Eddie P. This is we're calling it the Eddie P and B free agency frenzy show.
Frenzy. Free agency frenzy. Yeah.
All right. So let's kick things off with some of the free agency stuff. I mean, we had sort of a text thread going the other day about how crazy it's been with the money that's just flying around this season, more so this year than any year past, from what I've seen. Every year they do like a tracker of all the money that was spent, and we're still not done yet, right? There's still a lot of people who haven't finalized deals where they're going and whatnot. Like Harden still hasn't signed a deal yet. He's still waiting. It still looks like he's going to end up with the Sixers, but
they're saying he looks like he's willing to take a little less money.
Right.
Pulling the old Brady move.
But when I saw something the other day, it showed that we were already up. They were at like $400 and something million for the season. Not the total dollar amount, but and that was now considered the highest. And that was like only through Saturday, I think.
That was Philly.
So no. Overall for free agency, when you total up all of the annual salaries of what has been spent so far, it was like astronomical. It's the most ever.
I think guys that are maybe not, I don't want to say deserving, but maybe that's right, not deserving of that much money.
I mean, let's talk about max deals. I mean, Devin Booker, he got maxed, right? I mean, I could see that. Makes sense, right? Ja Morant got the max that he's allowed to get. It's considered a rookie max or whatever.
Right.
So he got maxed.
This was only his second year, so he's still on his rookie deal.
So that they allow them to do like a rookie stretch max or something like that. It's like 158 or 163 million, something like that, over the next 5 years. And then you got Jokic. So, the two-time MVP, he got max, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, those three guys for sure.
Zach Levine, he got maxed. Bradley Beal, the Wizards, he got maxed. Karl Anthony Towns got maxed. And then Zion, which, the dude's only played in he hasn't even played a full season.
No,
I would combine all of his. So that,
not really sure why they decided to max him. Maybe just to not let him get away.
That's the only thing I can think of is, worried that Zion was potentially going to run off after the rookie deal got done, right? Because there's been a lot of talk of him trying to get to New York or, somewhere larger, bigger market than New Orleans. But sort of surprising to me. Yeah. So the numbers, like Devin Booker got 4 years, 224, considered a super max extension with the Suns.
See that.
Morant got a 4 year worth $226 million. So he actually got a little more than Booker, not by much, 2 million. Yeah. Some of that could be incentive type stuff too. Jokic signed, he agreed to the richest contract in NBA history, by the way. So 5 year, 264.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. And then Carl Anthony Towns got the 4-year 224 as well. So yeah,
good player. I mean he seems like he's been kind of gone the past couple years, but
yeah, this year was
I know
better,
he came
right?
back. Yeah,
this year was much better. They have a pretty young squad, right? And made it to the playoffs. So that was good for the T-Wolves. Good to see too that they're like, okay, look, we've got somebody that we've built around. Let's go ahead and continue this. And see what we can do, right? And then obviously,
and he was good before, I think.
Right. Oh yeah, sure. But they've added
like the whole COVID thing really hit his family pretty hard.
Right.
His
during
mom,
the COVID year,
from what I understand, maybe another person or two.
Mm-hmm.
So I could understand. I guess this last couple of years he's been out of it, but he was back this year. He looked like the way he used to look. So
and so Zion, it says his deal was 5-year 193, but the deal could earn him as much as 231 when all is said and done with incentives. So significant money. But the thing with the T-Wolves is they weren't done by just signing Anthony Towns, right? Then we had that blockbuster trade. Seems a little lopsided to me. I don't know if I would have given up as much as they did, but they went out and they got Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz. So you got Gobert to go along with Towns and D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards. So they do have a nice, sounds like a nice starting five, really.
They gave up the King's ransom, but
they sure did. They gave up like 5 players and 4 first-round picks, which is insane because now that makes the market for Kevin Durant
outrageous.
It's
like if you're giving that up for Gobert, not that he's a bad player. Defensively, obviously he's good. He gets all kinds of blocks and
and that's what Minnesota needed. They needed somebody in the middle to clog things up defensively. That's the one thing that they were missing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a King's ransom, if you want to say. Good Lord.
I mean, so imagine what the Nets are going to get for Durant. That's
Well,
that might be the biggest ever after it's all said and done.
You would think so, because first off, Durant is signed for 3 or 4 more years because he signed that contract last year. So you're going to have him locked in for 3 to 4 years, unless of course he becomes a head case and wants to, force his way out. But it's crazy. And, obviously he came out and he only named like 2 or 3 teams, maybe 5 teams total that he'd be willing to go to. So that limits,
he said, I heard him say Nets. Miami
and the Suns were like his top 2 destinations. But from what it sounds like, the Nets have basically said they want an all-star in return, minimum, an all-star that they can plug in and play. And then I think they're looking for some additional players. And then you're talking like 3 or 4 first-round picks.
Yep.
So,
you think they'll want Butler?
Who? Oh, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Well, so from what I had heard from Phoenix, they said don't start a conversation unless Booker's a part of it, which obviously, the Suns aren't going to. I don't see them doing that.
That's the end of it.
Yeah, because they were trying to say, well, we'll give you DeAndre Ayton, the young center from the Suns, but they're like, no, not enough.
Right.
So it was like Booker and what else do you want to throw in? And I just don't see the Suns doing that. I just don't. And then, I think the Heat pretty much sort of said the same thing. Like the Nets are like, we can start the conversation with Bam, if you want to, because Bam's an all-star. It's like, okay, give us Bam, and
Bam, he is an all-star. Was a little disappointed with his playoff. Maybe it was the one series I actually watched him, but he didn't seem to do as good as I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Well, the Heat were a little weird, right? I mean, they had their moments, and obviously they made it to the conference finals, but like they had moments where it was like, man, are they really even? Is there like a full effort there or not? Type thing. Like, and a couple guys didn't get to play. Like that was weird too. Like Tyler Hero wasn't really seeing the floor for some reason.
Yeah,
or something was going on.
Robinson.
Or was it Robinson? Maybe it was Robinson that wasn't really seeing the floor all that much. And it was weird, right? It's like, is he hurt? They weren't
giving
you any
weird.
information.
It was either that or
was he in the doghouse?
Maybe he's a liability on defense.
Maybe. But I mean, there were some games where it was like, dude, do you need some shooters right now? Get that guy in. So, and I know what's his name? Durant had come out and basically said, well, no, I really want to play with Butler and Bam and, that whole team down and Lowry and all those guys. And it's like, well, that's not going to work.
Happen. Yeah, exactly.
They got to get something back in somewhat equal value.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it. So I don't know. I can't recall the other teams that he said he was willing to go to, but there's only so many teams who've got an all-star on their team that they might be willing to swap and send somewhere, or you probably got to get a third and fourth team involved. That's the only other thing I can think about. It's like, well, we don't want to give up our guys, but we found somebody who's willing to take, some of our pieces in exchange for this guy to go to you. Yeah. Who that is. Maybe there's a way to create a 4-team trade, because there's also talks of Kyrie being on the move now, even though he re-upped for the 1 year.
Right.
So,
everything's all over the place from one day to the next.
Right.
It's like, he said yes. So then the next day he's like, nope, they're working something out. We're trying to with him and Westbrook.
Yeah.
But then after he says yes, the day after that, KD's like, I'm out.
Right.
So it's like,
it sounds to me like the Nets. It sounds to me like the Nets are going to be in a a rebuild, but not like a total breakdown. You know what I mean? Like, because they did sign some of their other free agents back, like Patty Mills re-signed, and
Patty Mills did.
So they still have some core players there. It's just the big two, obviously.
Yeah.
Durant and Kyrie are probably on the move.
And Simmons, is this going to be Simmons' team?
Oh, right. Yeah, no kidding, right? And what's that look like, right? If it is his team, or is he on the move? You never know. Maybe they finally just go, you know what?
Yeah, this whole thing
are
is a
starting
mess with them.
And see what happens. Yeah, the owner also, from what I understand, is not real happy, especially with Durant. So
with Durant wanting to leave?
Just in general, I guess there's a bunch of stuff they said, because it was like, hey, we got you here, free agent wise, paid you, you signed a new contract, and now you're asking to leave after we also moved Harden, because he was a distraction. We've done everything that you wanted, and now you still want to leave. So
I think the biggest I think the one that's caused it all is Kyrie. Isn't that why Harden wanted to leave too?
Well, yeah, I think there's part of that.
Out?
Yeah, I think there's part of that too. I think they probably realized pretty early on that it just wasn't a solid mix, right? I mean, Harden needs to have the ball in his hand to create.
Yeah.
Same with Kyrie. And let's face it, Kyrie's a way better ball handler than Harden.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah.
But he's just never there.
Correct. And that's the other
big problem the Nets had with him. Yeah. Right.
I think now, though, that, the whole COVID thing is somewhat settled down and it's not a requirement in the league now. It's where's his head at? Does he want to be a full-time basketball player? Yeah. Or does he want to take on world challenges and occasionally play basketball? That's the issue.
Time off. Someone cuts down a tree.
Right. So some other moves that happened in free agency, just some names I'm throwing out there. Goran Dragic just signed with the Bulls. So
he was with the Nets, right?
I think wasn't he with the Nets just recently? I know he, so. There for a while. He's with the Heat. Yeah. So yeah, he did. He signed with the Nets last season. So you were correct there. DiVincenzo is off to the Warriors. Yeah. He went to he went to the Warriors. Well, so the Warriors have lost like 2 or 3 guys already off the championship team.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Gary Payton II.
Right.
He left the Warriors. God, I'm trying to remember where he went to. But he left. Damian Lee left. So Damian Lee left the Warriors and went to the Suns. And then the Lakers got one of the guys off the Warriors team. I can't remember.
Curry
was no. Right. We wish. One of the other guys decided to leave the Warriors completely, and he's going back to Turkey to play.
Oh,
so he's leaving I guess mainly because he probably wasn't seeing a whole lot of time, right?
Yeah.
And wants to play. That's Bjelica or something like that is his last name. I'm seeing it here. He informed him that he was leaving. God, there was somebody else though too. Why am I
they got
on the guy?
They got their core still.
Yeah, Looney re-signed with
DiVincenzo's not bad. So
no. Peyton ended up going to the Blazers. So
Mm.
he stayed in the conference and went to the Blazers. Who else did trying to remember the other guy? Who's the guy? The guy that came to the Lakers, Toscano Anderson.
Oh, Anderson.
Yeah, so he came over from the Warriors. So, but they've pretty much everything else they've kept in place.
Do you think Peyton's dad had something to do with him wanting out? Because wasn't something going on in the playoffs where Gary Payton was saying?
I think he felt like, you know, there was something to that. I believe you're right, Ed. I think there was some talks of Peyton, the senior, anyways, being upset with, you know, junior or the second being yanked.
Yeah,
quickly.
like that. Yeah,
times where he was in a flow and playing really well, and then they'd still pull him and put, you know, bring somebody back in or whatever. And
right. I wonder if that had a little bit to do with it. I mean, who knows?
Could, but I mean, he also ended up making his name for himself, and now he signed a deal with the Trailblazers. So
yeah, he's good.
And then let's see, there was a few others. John Wall getting released from the Rockets, and then he ended up going to the Clippers.
Yep.
And then PJ Tucker.
Left the Bucks.
Left the Bucks and is with the Sixers.
Yeah.
So signed with the Sixers.
That's going to help them.
And then the one that, you know, that a lot of people are talking about is Brunson, the guard from the Mavericks, who signed a big deal to go to the Knicks.
I think that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah.
As far as a little overpaid, but
yeah. So, you know, I mean, they gave him a number that that Dallas was not going to match.
Yeah.
So Brunson,
he's a young guy. He did play good.
Yeah, he did.
He showed himself good, especially when Luka was out.
Right.
And I understand his point with what he said, that he doesn't want to be. I know he didn't mean it in a disrespectful way, but he didn't want to be with someone that is so ball dominant like Luka.
Right.
Luka, LeBron, you know, that type. So
yeah, he wants to be able to run a team. He's a point guard and he wants to be able to run it. Whereas you knew when Brunson's in the game and Luka's on the court, ball starting off with Luka.
Exactly. So he got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
He's going to get the ball all he wants, time to play and money. So
yeah, for sure. The other, there were a couple other guys, Wright re-signed. I think Kyle Anderson ended up joining the Timberwolves. So he left the Grizzlies and went to the T-Wolves. So again, like the T-Wolves doing some things. They're trying to obviously build off of what they just were able to do. Andre Drummond ended up going to the Bulls. He signed a 2-year deal. Looks like
right. He was with the Nets.
Yep. And he was a previous Laker too, right?
Yeah.
So
he stunk with us.
I know he did.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee ended up going to the Mavericks. So
he's on the move again. That guy's
on the move
everybody.
again. Yeah, he really has.
Like that. What's that quarterback? That old school quarterback. He was always
Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who just retired too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic.
Yeah. The Lakers lost Malik Monk. He ended up signing significantly more than what the Lakers could offer him in a new contract. So he went to the Kings. And then Nicholas Batum re-signed with the Clippers. So he's there.
The Clippers, I know people have said it a couple times in the past few years, but this this could be a year for them.
It all depends on whether or not Leonard is playing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it really does.
I mean, he should be fresh at this point, but like, why is he not working out already yet? Something seems wrong still.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what, but.
Yeah. Bobby Portis re-signed with the Bucks for 4 years. So that was, that looks like the Bucks are really, bringing all the pieces back, maybe add a small piece or whatever, because they did lose DiVincenzo.
Tucker.
And Tucker. That's right. That's
kind of a, I don't want to say a huge piece, but that's kind of a solid piece.
Right.
Tucker.
Right. And then you had a couple other trades. The Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon got traded to the Celtics. So now the Celtics have got themselves a pretty solid point guard also who can.
Yeah, they're going to be there again.
Yep. So good for them. And then, I think it was the Hawks traded Johnny Huerta
Oh yeah,
to the Kings, right?
yeah. They
And I
got
think
someone else too
they got the
from the
wanted
Spurs.
Murray. They got Murray from
Murray.
the Spurs, which puts Murray and Trey Young back together again.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a
they were
solid backcourt.
for sure, for sure. And then it sounds like Kemba Walker could be on the move again. It looks like the Pistons are, buying out him. So see where he ends up.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more time he's going to have.
Well, how come he can never stay with a team?
I know.
Thought he was pretty good,
weird.
but
yeah,
something's up there.
for sure. Seems weird. And then, the Hawks traded Gallinari as part of that deal for Murray. And then he got released or bought out by the Spurs. And he's signing, if I remember right, I think Gallinari decided to go to the Celtics as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Yep. And then Utah, they also traded their young forward, Royce O'Neal, I think was his name.
Yeah.
They traded him to the Nets for a first round pick. So it's, it seems like the Jazz are in a rebuild at this point, right? Trying to start over with Donovan Mitchell as the main piece.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be on the move, but
I thought, after Gobert and O'Neal both being traded, I would have thought Mitchell said, hey, obviously we're not trying to do something here.
Yeah.
It's time for me to move on. But Mitchell is so young that, and Danny Ainge is the general manager there now or whatever. So he's doing what he did in Boston, which is let me do what I do. I just got 5 players. We'll keep who we want. But I also just landed us 4 picks for Rudy Gobert. Yeah. And I just got a first round pick for next year for Royce O'Neal.
Yeah.
So,
maybe that's why he was able to talk him into staying. Because I heard the Knicks were there was something going with the Knicks and Mitchell. But then
I'm not surprised.
Brunson, so
excuse me, water went down the wrong pipe or something. Anytime a name like a Mitchell or a Durant or somebody like that comes up, people are going to at least knock on the door and see what's going on. Damn, that really did go down the wrong pipe. I can hear it in my voice. Free agency movement. We got to see how teams assemble the rest of their squads. Excuse me. Summer League just kicked off as well in Vegas, and I haven't really watched any of it so far, but I have seen a few snippets coming across or on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. The Lakers Summer League team looks like they're pretty solid, actually.
Yeah.
They've beaten up on a couple teams already. Some decent outside shooting, and the youngsters that they do have that are playing seem pretty good. What's cool about the Lakers also is you have Shaq's son is playing in Summer League for the Lakers. Yep. Sharif O'Neal. And then they had, Scottie Pippen's kid is also signed to the Lakers Summer League. So we got some old
Sons of Legends.
Yeah. Sons of Legends playing, and both of them been playing pretty well, actually. I think when I saw yesterday, Pippen's kid put up like 19 and 7 in the game. So not too bad. But anyways, trying to think if there's really anything else, Ed, that has sort of happened in the NBA. I think, like I said, we're just waiting on some dominoes, some teams to fill out the rest of the rosters. Yeah. I did see the Bleacher Report did some predictions on where they think some guys might land. So a few of the guys that are still out there in free agency, Hassan Whiteside, who is a free agent. He was with Jazz last season. They're saying could go to the Clippers. So, which would be pretty interesting because they need a backup, I guess, for Zubac after Hartenson left and signed with the Knicks. They got Austin Rivers making a move again, possibly to the Timberwolves, because as part of that trade, Patrick Beverly and Malik Beasley were shipped off to Utah. So they need to fill that role. Carmelo Anthony coming back to the Lakers, playing again.
God, why? I was never a fan of that, even though he actually did okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't totally disappointing, which was fine, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm done with that. I don't want Carmelo on the Lakers.
Yeah, they are there's some talk that it'd either be the Lakers or maybe he does like, hey, this is my final year, and he goes and plays in for the Knicks type thing.
Oh yeah, since that was kind of his main.
Yeah. But they do feel that he's a better fit for the Lakers right now, especially from a playing time standpoint, because the Knicks have both Randall and Obi Toppin at those forward positions. So, and then DeMarcus Cousins, they're saying could move into the Suns, especially with JaVale McGee moving on, right, to the Mavericks, and Ayton's future up in the air. TJ Warren leaving the Pacers and going to the Grizzlies, which would be pretty interesting considering TJ Warren actually played pretty well throughout the season. Mm-hmm. I remember I killed the Lakers one game. I was just like, where'd TJ Warren come from all of a sudden? But he actually had a really solid season. He averaged 19, almost 20 points a game, 4 rebounds, and shot 53% overall from the field. So pretty good. Solid. And 40% from 3, mainly because he was healthy. So anyways, those are just a few more people out there that was there. Let's switch real quick, and we'll just do a little light talk of let's go like what you've been watching, Eddie P. Anything?
Stranger Things.
Oh,
Stranger Things.
You know, it's funny. I never got into it. I don't even think I watched a single episode. I don't know what it was. It was just like one of those, like, just didn't pique my interest per se, but everybody's loving it. And I guess it's in its final fourth season, right? But they just released like the last half of it, right?
Which is like only 2 episodes.
Right. But they did like they were going to give you this and this, and that's, and I think there was some talk on the radio last week when I was like driving into work, like people talking about it, basically saying, I think this is Netflix, right?
Yeah.
That Netflix did it on purpose so that they don't lose subscribers. They're starting to realize that when they release a whole season, people sign up for it. Once they're done with the season, they cancel.
Okay.
And so they have a feeling Stranger Things is going to start to do, hey, or not Stranger Things, but Netflix just in general is going to start to do, hey, you get an episode this week and you get an episode next week. And
I hope they don't do that.
And then occasionally they might turn around and do hey, we'll give you 2 episodes to tie you over until the next time, that kind of thing. They're not going to release.
That's like what Amazon or Hulu does.
Yeah.
Once a week thing.
Yeah. Just like a normal TV
like
show.
Regular TV. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that I think Netflix, because they've been taking a pretty big hit in the stock market and everything else. I think people started to realize, hey, this is what's really going on. People sign up for it.
Yep.
They watched the show that they wanted to watch, and then they cancel. So Stranger Things, you've been on Stranger Things. There's one that's piqued my interest. It's called, and I think it just started. It's on Amazon Prime. It's got Chris Pratt in it. It's called The Terminal List.
Terminal List.
Yes. I haven't watched it. I haven't. No. I saw like the couple trailers for it already, like on, regular TV or whatever showing it. And it was like, all right, this looks pretty interesting. So I'm going to have to get in on it. I think, oh, look at this guy.
How's it going, fellas? Sorry.
Good, dude.
Coming in late. My bad.
That's all right, dude. Well, we sort of wrapped up our NBA talk already, but
I guess I was watching you guys. I was trying to get on sooner, but didn't quite happen the way I prefer.
No worries. We were just we're talking now about like things that we were interested in watching, and Eddie P brought up Stranger Things, so we talked a little bit about that.
Saw that.
Only Murders in the Building just came out again.
Yeah, started watching.
Okay, and I haven't watched that at all either. So that's another one. But I heard it is. It's good old Steve Martin and
Martin Short.
Short, mm-hmm. And then they got what's her name, Selena, right?
Yeah.
Selena Gomez is in it. So only Murders in the Building. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
that's good. Check that one out. And The Boys. That's the only other one I started watching. The Boys. Actually, something else, but that's a good show. I think it's a little over the top. It's gotten a little over the top this season. Yeah, I don't want to. Do you watch it?
I don't. I have not seen it.
Me neither.
There's like they show a guy crawling into another guy's dick, and which I think is over the top.
You said into his dick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Way
I'm out.
Because it's this superhero is like
was it like Ant-Man crawling into some
He's like an Ant-Man guy. Yeah, he can like make himself shrink and just. I think they're over the top with the sex stuff and crap like that.
Oh,
this season's kind of like even me, and I'm like, what the hell?
Is this like a who is this? Is this a Marvel or a DC thing, or is it something else?
No, it's just like what the premise of the show is. These guys are superheroes, but they're like regular people. They do all kinds of messed up crap. Drugs,
just regular human beings, basically,
like regular human beings, but they have superpowers. They were born like that.
God.
So yeah.
Okay. All right.
And, yeah. So it's weird. This season to me is over the top and stuff like that. It's like, come on, the show's good. That's why I keep watching.
Is it jumping the shark? Jumping the shark?
That's basically jumping the shark a little to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing I want to see is a superhero going into somebody's pee hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
what the
terrible.
Hell? Yeah, that's what I thought. Only other thing I'm watching besides that is Love, Death, and Robots. That's on Netflix. And what that is, it's just, there's 3 seasons now. It's just little short films. Some of them are 5 minutes. Some of them might be like 15 minutes. And they're just all different animated stories. It's like some are
computer animated or cartoonish.
And they're just weird little stories. It's cool though. Check that out if you're into that.
So Love, what was it? Love something.
Love, Death, and Robots. Yeah.
That's a weird ass name. You know what? The title of that, I always skip by it just because of the title of it. I'm just like, that sounds dumb.
Yeah, me too. And I finally gave it a chance and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You guys will like it.
I thought it was like, honestly, like until you said something, I thought it was just like people that have like make robots and fucking fight them in a thing. You know, like a remote control. And I'm just like, this is stupid. That's just what I assumed. I didn't watch a preview or nothing. I'm like, this.
Yeah. No, it's good. Check it out.
Yeah,
every episode's good.
Yeah, and then we talked about the new Amazon one, Terminal List with Chris Pratt.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is that pretty good?
I haven't watched it yet. I caught the trailer a couple times, and even my wife, she caught it last night, the trailer, and she's just like, "Ooh, that looks good. We might have to watch that."
Yeah, I want.
It looks like he's like an ex SEAL or something like that, and something went bad, and he lost some guys, and now he's got a list of people that he's going after who caused his men to be killed. Like it was almost like a setup or something.
Umbrella Academy?
No. I heard that's a superhero type thing.
Yeah, they have a second season out now.
Umbrella Academy.
Or their third season. I think it's their third season, actually. Yeah, their third season. It's pretty
interesting. You know what? And The Old Man with Jeff Bridges.
Okay, so I haven't watched it. I've recorded it. So I've got it recorded. Yeah, Jeff Bridges is in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's on FX, I think, right? I think
it's FX, is that what it is? It? I see it on Amazon.
But, I know Amazon's got it, but I've been recording it through FX? Regular television. Okay. I want to say it might be FX or something like that. But anyways, and then I know you guys aren't Star Wars guys per se, but Obi-Wan came out.
I watched it.
I haven't watched that.
Did you like it? I haven't watched
pretty good, dude.
I haven't watched any
like it
yet. I haven't watched it. My kids have been watching it, but I figured I'd get started now that we're back from vacation and everything.
No, Obi-Wan's good. I liked
I'll
it.
Check it out. Yeah.
Cool.
We're not Star Wars nerds, but we know some Star Wars.
Yeah, we watch it.
Yeah.
You're not
I didn't like episode 1 through 3 really. It was just too kiddie for me. As being
the original ones?
No. The second set, which is episode 1, 2, 3.
When they were talking about Anakin as he was growing up.
Yeah.
With Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
Yeah, he was fun.
I know.
So I was a little out on those ones, but all the other ones have been good for me. You know?
Mandalorian was great. Loved it.
Mandalorian was dope.
Didn't watch Boba Fett.
You didn't watch Boba Fett? That one's good too.
I only caught the first episode so far of that one. I need to get back into I need to knock them all out.
They got like this he's like Chewbacca, but he's like black fur. The dude's pretty dope in Boba Fett.
Cool. Check it out.
I guess we can get into maybe like a little bit of bump it or dump it. Is there anything out there that you really want to?
Let's see.
Kyrie to Lakers.
Kyrie to the Lakers.
Bump or dump, Eddie?
I say dump. I'm not a big fan of it just because he's been a terrible employee. Everywhere he's gone, except Cleveland.
Right.
You know, things haven't gone good. Even then, he wanted to leave because he had a problem with LeBron or wanted to get out of his shadow, and that backfired on him.
I think that might have been youth, you know,
probably
like guys thinking that they can go and do it on their own type thing, right?
Yeah. Then he goes to Boston. The team.
I'm sort of here. I'm sort of here for it. If it's, you know, with the minus of Westbrook, that's my only thing.
For sure gone. If we,
I think LeBron needs to have a good talk with him. Like, look.
Oh, I'm sure they've been having serious talks. You know,
we need you here, bro. I don't need you. You know,
right.
Doing all this and that.
Don't need you telling us the earth is flat.
You know, yeah, we don't need you telling us the earth is flat. We don't need you taking days off when they wipe out a rainforest. We don't need you, you know, whatever. I get it. Yeah. He has his own personal life, but you're an employee. You need to be here.
Right. Right. We have a goal that we're trying to accomplish here, especially as LeBron's aging and so forth.
He wants to win another ring. I mean, do it.
Right.
What has he done without LeBron? Really? That's another thing.
Yeah. What about KD and Kyrie for AD and Russ?
I just don't see that. I mean, would I say yes to that? Yes. But do I see the Nets doing that? No.
We might have the best to offer them. You're getting 2 superstars back, and you get, or let's say 2 all-stars. You get 2 all-stars back, and we'll give you THT and like a pick probably.
Yeah, like but Eddie P and I were talking about it earlier. I mean, to see what Gobert just went for, you know, I mean,
but you're not set Gobert.
The bar. Yeah, but you sort of set the bar for
right.
That's going to be
draft picks.
Yeah,
but they got draft picks. Would you rather have known commodities or draft picks?
Well, I mean,
AD
from what I understand,
Russell Westbrook.
No, I
get
that,
you in the playoffs.
I understand that you know, we had talked about a little bit earlier that the Nets basically have said, don't talk to us unless you're including an all-star coming back, right? So that's what they basically did with the Suns. They're like, don't start a conversation unless Booker's a part of the talk.
Right.
And with the Heat, it was Bam. Don't start unless Bam's included. And both teams have said, well, yeah, no, we don't. Those weren't the guys we were thinking of. We were thinking Eaton, and I don't even know who the Heat were thinking, but like, you know what I mean? And you're going to have to throw, you know, multiple year picks, which
I don't think you have to throw multiple. I don't think you have to throw multiple year picks if you throw Kyrie or AD and Russ.
No, I agree with you on that. To me, like, I would think that the Nets would be looking at what kind of a haul can we get from somebody else. I get what you're saying. Hey, I guess it's
going to depend if it's going to also depend if they want to stay competitive or not, right?
Right. You're going to get AD, who's under contract, right, for another 2 or 3 years, which is just like what KD is, right? KD is under contract for I think 3, and then you've got Russ and Kyrie, which are basically 1 for 1 on the years, right? But technically, wouldn't the Nets have to maybe sweeten the deal a little bit more? Because of the dollar differences between Kyrie and Russ, you're still like $10 or $11 million apart just on that alone.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll probably throw in like THT and let's say.
But now
I know, but what I'm saying is they're gonna end up throwing us like someone like Joe Harris's contract that nobody wants, something like that. You know what I mean?
What I've heard so far, what I had heard so far was that the Kyrie for Westbrook deal, they wanted us to take Joe Harris also, and we've been balking at that because Joe Harris is owed like quite a bit of money over the next like 3 years also.
Right.
I think
Lakers.
I know that's who they said.
They want Seth Curry.
They want Curry instead of Harris, but I don't think they can pull that off. Or the Nets may not be willing to do Curry. I think the Nets really want.
Simmons going to do?
Well, that's what we talked about too.
It's Ben Simmons' team.
Jesus Christ.
So speaking of AD, here's another little bump it or dump it. Did you hear about KG?
Oh yeah.
Garnett basically
was on camera
calling him out. Yeah, basically like, dude, you should be the guy that everybody has thought you were going to be. You know, and it's true. It's like, you know, the issue with AD that we've always heard. Well, you know, Germ has always said he's soft as a marshmallow, basically, which is apparent.
Yeah, but
is that he doesn't work out. He doesn't, you know, he's the old school mentality. The guys, you know, they show up for preseason workouts and that's when they're going to get into shape.
That's
you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, no.
You can't do that. I mean, look at like you see, if you follow LeBron at all on Instagram or anything like that, that dude is constantly working
It's a
out.
full-time job year
Even
round.
when he's on vacation, man, he's like out in the Maldives or whatever, dude. And he's found a gym. He's working out. You know, he's working on shots. He's whatever the case may be. You don't ever see any of that with AD.
No,
there's nothing. You
Yeah,
know,
They
It's
say
like-
he ain't
don't
picked
work
up a
out
ball
until
since who
season.
knows where.
well, I know that people were saying that, and then didn't somebody say that they just had him in the gym and he was hitting shots and getting ready and all that kind of stuff. But again, you know, until you see it, like,
right. That's
I
going
don't-
to be the narrative.
I haven't seen any video. You know, great that your agent came out or whoever it was that was working with you, but like,
Right.
let's see it. I mean, at least, you know, like when people got upset, right, during the season when they showed Zion, right, dunking a
Mhm.
ball and all that kind of stuff, and people were like, well, why is he not on the court then?
Right.
Why is he not playing? You know what I mean? But you at
Yeah.
least saw that he was in a gym
Yeah.
doing something, right?
Hey, bump it
So-
or dump his contract.
Ooh.
Zion's.
Well, Ed and I
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about that. I'm a dump it
I'm a
personally.
dumping.
I mean,
yeah.
the dude's
crazy.
dude hasn't even played a full season yet.
Right.
Like, and I'm talking, even if you combine all the games he's played in so far, it still doesn't equate to 82 games. So,
Right.
you know, to me, I think it's crazy. You know, like Ed said, maybe it's just, hey, let's lock him up.
so no one
so
else
that,
gets
so
him?
that he can't do the, well, I'm done with my rookie contract next year and I can move on my own, you know? And
Right.
maybe his agent turned around and said, dude, hey, they're offering you this money. I think you take it and it's guaranteed
Got the
money.
max.
It's
Yeah, he's got the
guaranteed.
max.
I know it's guaranteed. So, I mean, we
Crazy.
talked about that. I mean, Brunson, you know, got a significant, you know, I mean, he's not he didn't get maxed 5
No, he
years,
didn't get maxed,
5-year 106, you know, but you're still
a lot.
talking 25, or 20 million a year roughly.
So
right?
does
Yeah, basically
RJ Barrett,
21.
does
Yeah.
RJ Barrett take a back seat there, or
if you're paying that kind of money to Brunson, I think Brunson's your new starting point guard.
It's your horse. Yeah.
I think so. Maybe they move Barrett over, you know?
well, I mean, he does play shooting guard, I think, but I'm just saying, like,
Right.
in your role as like scoring.
Yeah, but Brunson's not necessarily, I think Brunson, like Ed and I talked about it, I think Brunson's like a typical point guard, right? He can score though, but I think he's interested in getting people involved, right? Which I think was somewhat of the reasons why he was trying to get out of Dallas. It was the Luka show and that's it, right? Like,
Do you pay someone $100 million to not be like almost your best player, at least your number two? Well, I don't even know. Like, they got Julius,
yeah.
they got
Julius, they got RJ Barrett, and who else do they have?
Brunson. They got Brunson now.
Right.
I don't know if D Rose is still there, but he was coming off the bench anyways.
Yeah. And you haven't really heard much more with the Knicks, right? Other than Brunson so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know, the team that has really surprised me, and we were talking about it earlier, obviously, was the T-Wolves with the trade, right? They gave up, 5 dudes and 4 picks for Gobert, which is nuts, right?
Insane.
But they've gone out and they've added Kyle Anderson to their team. They, you've got a pretty solid 5 now with Gobert and re-signing Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards. I mean, they were in the playoffs, they made the playoffs and now they're building off of it. It's just, did they just sell the farm for a short window?
Yeah.
Anything's possible,
Well,
right?
They could get out of the first round now.
They better get out of the first round after what they just did, because you've literally given away.
I mean, I don't know
4
why you
picks.
give that much up for Gobert, but
Right. We said the same thing. Exactly.
The only
That's
thing
a
I
lot.
can
That's
think
a hell
of
of a
is
lot.
maybe that's the only way they could do it, to where Gobert would agree to be moved.
I feel like there's Aggie when everyone's zigging. Everyone's trying to go
Mhm.
small ball, so they're like, "Hey, let's go Twin Towers on them, see what could happen."
Well, I
David
think the biggest
Robinson
issue-
/ Tim Duncan,
Yeah.
but neither of
I
those
think-
two are those guys. So
Right. Well, and we had talked about it a little bit earlier. I think the biggest issue that the T-Wolves had, and it showed in the playoffs, was they had nobody to protect the rim. Even
Yeah.
Towns doesn't protect the rim.
he's
All
not
that.
that good.
Yeah. So now you have that. You've got Gobert that can do that. So I don't know. It's a
Towns
young
will probably-
core.
Towns will probably flourish a lot more now if he's playing the forward position.
Right.
those
Instead
power
of
forward.
center. I agree.
He doesn't have to bang bodies with these big guys.
Yeah. And then it was also interesting to see what the Celtics have been able to do so far.
Yep.
You know, getting Malcolm Brogdon, and then they got Gallinari also. So Gallinari
does Brogdon get them to beat the Warriors? That's I mean, at this point, that's what they need, right?
He's more offensive than Marcus Smart, right? I mean,
it's hard for me to say.
Is he going to be coming off the bench behind Smart?
No, I think Brogdon starts.
So. But I think Brogdon will probably upset. So
yeah, but I mean, you know, Celtics gave up quite a bit. I mean, I don't know if they gave up like a ton, but they gave up Daniel Theus, Aaron Naismith, 2023 first round pick. They also included Stauskas, Fitz, and Juwan Morgan in the deal just to make everything work out. I guess the trade can't be finalized because yet until July 9th, which is only a few days away, because Morgan had signed a new contract with the Celtics. So they're just, and then, you know, it'll be interesting to see what the Hawks look like with Murray there. With
they're talking about bringing KD back to the Warriors.
I know. I heard that there's some talks of that, but
what are they going to have to give up?
What exactly?
They're giving up Jordan Poole, Wiggins, and then probably Wiseman and another pick or something.
Wow.
I think that's what they would have to give up to get to, like, you know, make it interesting.
Yeah, but isn't Wiseman a free agent? So Wiseman can do what
I don't think so. I think he's barely on his second year, so this would be his third year.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I was thinking of Whiteside, because we had just gone over some free agent stuff before you came on too, of who's still out there and where they could go.
Him back.
So
he's going to say yes.
Why not? Kyrie going back to LeBron.
Why yes for the ring? Or you? Oh, okay, yeah. KD, you said. I get it. Yes for the ring, but isn't he trying to like build his reputation as that guy? But
he's just killed his reputation again, because it's like you left and went to the Nets to try to build your own thing after hearing about it, that you won 2 with the Warriors, and you know,
yeah.
And now you've already asked to be out of the Nets because it didn't work out either.
Yeah. I saw something that said too, like, you know, at least LeBron James left, but he took a championship to everywhere he's been.
Right.
Or like others doing it, but it's not the same result.
Right.
And that's ultimately your result, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna go here.
Yeah. Well, but that seems that's what it is now with Durant, right? It's almost like he's a gun for hire at this point, in a way, right? Or he's not
that guy that's going to lead a team.
Apparently not.
He's not a leader, that's for sure.
It seems like it, right? I mean, because you think about like the three-headed beast they had in OKC, they didn't do anything.
Fell short.
Yeah.
Even when it wasn't three-headed, even it was just
Westbrook and him. Yeah.
I mean, they got to the Western Conference Finals, they just couldn't.
Yeah, but they ran off Harden.
Well, they even got to the finals one year.
I don't think they ran off Harden. I think Harden was just like, yo, I don't want to come off the bench anymore. And obviously he proved that he
wasn't he starting though at that point when they finally.
I think he was still. I think they weren't going to pay him. They didn't have the money to pay him. They paid Ibaka instead of him. So he left.
I remember that.
Was like,
yeah. Well, I forgot that they had Ibaka at the time too, and he was young, so they had to pay. But
they were so close too, because they went to the finals and lost to someone, and then he left the next year.
Yeah, they lost to the Heat. They lost to LeBron.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, LeBron and
it's like, dude, really? Now you're going to leave? Like, you guys are right there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time respecting Durant's uncompetitiveness. He's a competitor, but you know what I'm saying. Just I don't know.
Hey,
not willing to hunker down and stay with your team and make
not everybody's designed to be the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Or has it in them to be the guy. You know, the leader, know, whatever you want to call it. So
I'm starting to like come to the census that there's a lot of people that could be like your number one, let's say, scorer and stuff, but maybe not like you said, you don't have the whole everything to be the best player and the leader.
Right.
Some people just want to be the best player and not like, yo, I'm just here to score buckets and help the team win, but I'm not the vocal guy that's gonna rah-rah.
Okay, everyone. So I'll give you one in that category. Bradley Beal.
Yeah, even Kevin Durant probably like he's there. You see when like they ask him about Kyrie, he's like, Kyrie's my friend. I don't want to judge him, blah blah blah. He's not holding him to any accountability,
right?
Of Kyrie. He's just like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So usually sticking up for him. I don't think the Nets got to really know Kyrie, blah blah blah. Like what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah,
like bro, he didn't show up to work. He literally didn't show up to work.
And not only that, you're now bouncing on the Nets too.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. Like we're like as much as a great talent KD is, right? Even Kyrie, like their leadership might not be the best, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I forgot about this other trade, Eddie P. Wizards and Nuggets did a trade where Will Barton and Monte Morris went to the Wizards for our guy KCP and Ish Smith, I guess, and I think there was like a pick or something thrown in there as well. So Monte Morris and Barton going to the Wizards seems interesting. Morris can help Beal, I guess, out.
Yeah,
I mean, ultimately the Wizards are still the Wizards.
Yeah,
it's
I was gonna say
John Wall to the Clippers.
Yeah, we talked about that he got bought out and ended up going to the Clippers, and then they re-signed Batum.
How do you think that's going to fit?
Gonna be interesting, that's for sure. I mean, like I told Eddie P, on paper the Clippers look like they have a solid team again, right? Yeah. But if Leonard don't play,
Raw,
it's
not even that. It's more like I almost see their team very similar to the Lakers last year. Where like on paper, just that on paper your team looks good, right? You got like Kendrick Nunn. Lakers had Kendrick Nunn, all the names, Malik
Monk,
Russ, AD, so on and so on. And I feel like I look at the Clippers, I'm like, you got Kawhi, Paul George, but John Wall is very Russell Westbrook-ish.
Sure.
And then you have, Batum and things like that. I'm just like, sometimes, just having big names just doesn't do it. Like they got to fit,
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. You still have three pieces that need to fall, right? Realistically, 3 big pieces: KD, Kyrie, and Harden.
Yeah.
And
Harden, I think he's going to resign.
I think so too. It's just what's the dollar amount going to be? Is it
because he said he's going to take a pay cut.
Yeah, but is it a 1 year? Is it a 2 year? I mean, what do you do if you're Harden? Do you take a cut for a 1 year
option? I think you might do the 2 year
or a 1-and-1. You do the 1-and-1 where it's like, okay, I'll sign for this dollar amount. Let's see how the year goes, and if it's good, I'll opt in for the second year. Or
I can see that
I can bounce. Yeah,
I think KD's staying.
You think KD's staying with the Nets?
Yeah. They're not going to get what they want. I don't think that may be the reason why.
And that's why I'm saying I think that Gobert deal
made it out.
Put that in their head of like, well, KD's worth way more than Rudy Gobert.
Oh, yeah.
But if teams don't have it, you can't do anything.
Right.
I mean, ultimately it could end up being that both those dudes are back with the Nets.
Yeah.
Because they just can't get the right deal done.
Yep.
I don't know what that looks like for you if you're the Brooklyn organization. Both players both want it out. They don't want to be there. I mean, legitimately, Irving would have been with the Lakers if he would have taken the mid-level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because they had said that that's what he was contemplating. Does he go ahead and just take the mid-level deal for this 1 year and he bounces and goes to, or does he do the $37 million and try to get traded, do a sign and trade?
That's what he's trying.
And that's what he's trying to do. Ultimately, Kyrie does not want to be there. That's obvious because he contemplated giving up $31 million.
Exactly.
Which is weird
with the Lakers as a free agent.
Because that was where he wanted to be, right? Isn't he from there? He wanted to be in Brooklyn, that whole thing.
Yeah, he wanted to be with KD.
He wanted to be with KD and all that, but obviously something's not right in that organization, or something's just not,
Oh, the organization for sure. There's something going on with them.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, but all right. Well,
all right, fellas, I'm out of here.
Had a little bit of bump it and dump it, some good NBA talk, and
good stuff.
Hopefully everybody tuned in. Those of us that tuned in and listened enjoyed it on a 4th of July holiday weekend. Enjoy the 4th with your loved ones, and we'll see you next Sunday, hopefully with a full full
Full
supporting
crew.
cast, full crew.
Yeah.
All right.